Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at a really cool Grand Seiko, one that I've been waiting for a pretty long time. This is the SLGA019, otherwise known as the new Lake Suwa Evolution 9 series watch. So you can see on the outer box, you got the typical model number and barcodes there. So let's take this sleeve off. So you'll notice that this Grand Seiko box is actually different than the typical Grand Seiko boxes I get, and that's because this is one of the higher end Evolution 9 watches, and I think Grand Seiko reserves the rectangle boxes for their higher end watches. But this is the same navy blue with gray stripe, design with the Grand Seiko in silver right there in the middle. So let's open this up. This is actually my first time seeing a box like this from Grand Seiko, and the usual rice paper right here, which is a nice touch. So inside the box, you get the Grand Seiko cloth, GS9 club card, and it looks like the instructions manual in there. All right, and here's the watch box. Same texture and everything like the previous boxes, though this is new. It looks like an aluminum strip over here versus the typical boxes, which is just kind of like a gray color. This one's like an actual aluminum strip. You can even see the texture of the metal there. Really cool. So I guess they did really reserve this for the higher end watches. All right, and inside the watch box, it looks like if you had a strap, you could lay the watch down here, but this watch came on a bracelet, so they tucked it under here. And before we get into that, I just wanted to show you these other two compartments. I guess this was for the warranty card to slip into and just some extra accessories you might have. All right, let's open this up. And there is the watch, guys. Stunning piece. You could see the indices and hands shining from here even. So let's talk about this. Stunning dial, absolutely beautiful. That blue shade is just amazing. So this is the Evolution 9 series from Grand Seiko, which is their highest series, their new high-end 5-day spring drive. So very impressive movement, case finishing, everything's top notch as always. The overall case shape and design is reserved for the Series 9 watches. And you'll see the movement, which I can show you right here on the back, which is a really cool looking spring drive movement with a special looking rotor. It is a 5-day one, reserved only for the Evolution 9 series watches. And the biggest way to tell an Evolution 9 watch is the hands and indices. They'll always have kind of like this chunky hour hand, and then these indices will always be shaped kind of like this. Of course, there's some exceptions, like for the divers, there'll be loom plots, but for the most part, this is kind of the design language for the Evolution 9. Now let's talk about this watch. This is the third iteration of the Lake Suwa. Many of you already know what the Lake Suwa is. It was that limited edition, beautiful wave pattern dial watch that came out a couple years ago. That was a blue dial similar to this, but it had a gold seconds hand and a gold GS logo, and that was a limited edition watch. So once it was sold out, it was very tough for other people to obtain. Then they created a general release version, which was also another steel iteration, but the seconds hand and the GS logo were silver, blending in with the hands and indices. So people did like that, but the dial was a darker, like a navy, kind of like a midnight navy, dark blue dial. It still had that waves texture, but it was just much harder to see because of how dark the dial was. Then they finally released this iteration, which is a fully titanium case and bracelet, extremely light. And it has the light blue dial, not the navy blue, but the same light blue one that the first iteration of the Lake Suwa limited edition came out in. Except this one has the silver colored or steel colored GS logo and seconds hand. Has that nice seamless blend of color, but you also get the lighter blue dial, and it's in for the first time, a titanium case and bracelet. So this thing's extremely light. The polishing, the Zaratsu polishing on the titanium looks amazing. You can see the difference between the polished and brushed surfaces on titanium, and it's just incredible to see. I mean, it's fairly thin, being an Evolution 9 watch as well. Just an overall perfected Lake Suwa, I would say. And I've kind of been on the list to get this watch as soon as it was released, and I think it's been one of the popular ones, even though it is pretty pricey. This one retailed for right over $10,000, so it is definitely a pricey one, but if you can get a discount from your AD or you see it on sale somewhere, I would think that's a pretty good deal, anything under MSRP at this point, because the watch market is kind of crazy. But just beautiful dial, and you could see the way the waves are just kind of this 3D effect. It looks like you're looking right out of a window. It's amazing. And this is kind of the dial perfection that Grand Seiko is known for. Stuff like this. And other brands just can't quite compete with this. Simply beautiful. All right, let's get it on wrist and see how it fits. All right, here it is on my 6.5-inch wrist, and it fits beautifully. These watches are not so thin where they look like a pure dress watch, but they have some sporty characteristics, so you can kind of get away with both. You could dress it up or down, sits very flat on my wrist. This is a 40 millimeters diameter. See that smooth seconds hand sweep? That just can't be beat. I mean, even the standard spring drive was already a marvel, but this new 5-day movement is just incredible. And you can see the way everything just shines is just beautiful, the way it plays with the light. And then you just get that glimpse of that textured dial, and it's just amazing, guys. All right, so why don't you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. See you guys next time.